Alright guys, this is going to be my first video of the new year, and the first video that I really put on my channel that I actually really care about is my hero deck profile. It's literally my favorite deck of all time, and I think that as a video showcasing a deck that I cared about a lot since literally I was in middle school. Jaden Yuki was literally my favorite character. As the sleeves, I got Jaden on the back of it. But I'm just gonna talk about like my deck profile and the choices of why I play them, and how do I feel this deck can do in the current format right now. Alright, so with that being said, so here we're gonna start with the monster lineup. So we got, for the elemental heroes, we got one Neos, one Spirit of Neos. Now I play Spirit of Neos. You're gonna see other cards in here why I play him, but the only reason why I decided to put him back, and I've been on and off on the decisions of playing Spirit of Neos, but the fact that he can be a meat shield during the battle phase, and realistically there aren't a lot of effects that can really destroy a card during the battle phase, unless it's like maybe an Omnigate or something that can negate it in the hand. But this has been pretty clutch. A lot of times I played some games and it was in my hand, and they attack while I have nothing, and I special it from my hand. Can't be destroyed by battle. On summon, it can add Poly or any card that mentions elemental heroes specifically in the name. So that's one reason why I played Niels, and I think he's really good. One Shadow Miss, just one I feel like is enough. I am playing a high card count, and Shadow Miss is searchable. I feel like you have plenty of ways to search other cards. Mass Change with Wake Up, you can literally just get to the card pretty easily. Liquid, he's good. He's the other water. You make absolute zero, and the draw two combo, and pretty much helps you be a little bit more consistent and dig for any power cards during your turn. Three Stratos. Three Stratos is the best card, best normal summon in the deck. I feel like I tried going between 2 and 3, trying to bring the card count down, but when I bring the card count down, I feel like I still break. So I just decided to just stick with 3. It's usually the card you want to see anyways. So that's for the elemental heroes, and we got one Crosskeeper. Crosskeeper, I play it because it's literally just Fire Flint for heroes. A lot of times I find myself drawing multiple normal summons, and I feel like the best hero hands are usually the hero hands where you have a normal summon plus an extender, and Crosskeeper serves as a extender because you literally just activate from hand and send to the grave, specials a hero from hand or graveyard, but if it specials from graveyard, it's negated. So Stratos, you can special Stratos from hand, trigger its effect. So in a way, it feels like a pseudo hero lives. Then you got the mulligan effect, where if you special a elemental hero fusion, draw 2 and put back 1. So it's another draw 2 to add more consistency and draw power to the deck, and just another way just to get more of your dead elemental heroes in hand. And it can special Neos and Spirit of Neos as well, and that does help you trigger combos just because Spirit of Neos can search Poly or any card mentioning elemental hero in the name. Then we got the Vision Hero lineup. We got 3 Vision Hero Increase, 2 Vions, and 2 Vision Hero Increase. I think this is pretty good. I'm actually thinking about putting this to 1. In this deck, this build right here, the high card count, I played it because Ferris is the combo. You need Ferris to resolve, and when Increase is at 1 and you draw it, you don't resolve it, you end up losing because you either have Ferris in hand, but it really doesn't do anything because Increase is in hand, and you either have Vion in hand and you have to commit to a normal summon. So I play 2, but I think I'm gonna just go to 1 because of Crosskeeper. And the main reason because of Crosskeeper, because it can put back the Increase. So if I'm going through my combos, I can put back an increase if the situation do come up. And it isn't the end of the world. If you do draw one, you can play, but realistically speaking, you want to resolve Ferris all the time. So I think that's honestly true. You want to resolve Ferris, and you want to make sure you resolve Ferris as much games as possible without it costing you the game. So that's why most people play too. So Vision Heroes, and then now the D Hero lineup. We got 2 Mally, 1 Denier, Plasma. Denier, Mally's self-explanatory. Plasma. I thought about siding Plasma at one point in the game, but then I realized Plasma was good going first and second because of Droll. So if I had a hand where Plasma was in my hand or something like that, like I played D-Force, there was a build I played D-Force. If they drove me and I have Ferris, I can still do Ferris combo, get 3 monsters, tribute, make Plasma. And then they got to deal with a Plasma on the board. And DP. It just serves as another material to make DP. So that's it for monsters. Then we got 3 Hero Lives. We got 1, 2, 3. 3 Hero Lives. And then we got 3 Fusion Destinies. 3 Fusion Destinies. Gotta play a starter. Hero Lives and Fusion Destiny are automatic 3-ofs. Now, going second, what I started doing was siding out at least 2 Hero Lives. Just because personally, even though Hero Lives is an extender time, you can lose because of that. And you need more cards sometimes to go second. And I feel like a better going second card would be better than the Hero Lives. Basically like thrust. You can thrust into it if you need it. So even if you are siding out 2 and you put 2 thrusts, which I do play 2 thrusts, but not in the main and the side, you can just side 2 thrusts and search this out. So it's fine if you side it going second. So you got 3 Hero Lives and 3 Fusion Destinies. Alright. 2 polys, 2 mass change. 2, I don't think you need 3. Mass change does not start a combo unless you have Shadow Mist, but realistically, it's not a combo starter. So I don't feel like you need 3. The only mass change cards that's really worthwhile going into most of the time is Dark Law and Blast. And with the new combo into Wake Up, you can literally just search mass change. So 2 is fine. You don't need a clog. It can set back over 1 the driver and it's searchable. So I feel like that's good. Poly, I feel like is good at 2 because it doesn't hurt to open Poly. Opening Poly is not bad. And I treat it like Alistair Invocation, where if you normal summon Vion and I use this effect to banish add Poly, and if they ash it, because that's something I started realizing that other players were doing. They got a little bit smarter. They used to just, ash Vion send effect or something like that. But now they just ash the poly search, cutting you out of poly. So I started playing 2 just for the hero players. Well, not the hero players, but the people who are familiar with the hero matchup and they know that poly is the heart. And Brave Spirit of Neos can search it out. So that's another reason why I play it. It can search out the poly. So it's another access into it if needed. Most of the time you won't have to, but that option is good. And now for the 1-0s, we got 1 Miracle, 1 End Shuffle, 1 Foolish, 1 E-Call, 1 Rhoda, 1 Call By. Now, Call By, hand traps, you gotta beat the hand traps. Rhoda, you needed to search, whatever you need to search. Add the E-Call, has a extra consistency, and yes, Droll is in the format, but I feel like at this point, who cares? I think that I don't know if most people are gonna main Droll. I feel like they're gonna try to main Droll, but with Fire Kings right now, Fire Kings with the Sinful engine, they can really play around Droll really well. So Droll might actually just be a side deck card, especially if we moved into a more Fire King, Fire deck, format. So I think it's fine, and you get the call by for it. So it's okay. It's okay. And then if they draw you, you just side it out. Usually going second. I don't have it in going second anyways. So it's mainly for the first. This is more catering to going first. And then I guess I'll do my hand traps. So hand traps, I don't even have a lot. I got 2 Ash, 3 Imperm. These are the only hand traps I run. That's it. Heroes, they need engine plus power spells. Going second power spells such as the Hero List, Vision Destiny, or something like that, Droplet. So these are generic enough to deal with pretty much any matchup, and I think this is fine. Maybe adding a third Ash could be okay, but I stick like this. I don't want to play too many hand traps. Helps with bricking. And then we got 2 Book of Eclipse and 2 Droplets. So Book of Eclipse and Droplet self-explanatory, going second. But Book of Eclipse, now what I had here before were cross-out designators to beat the hand traps. But the problem with cross-out designator was if they didn't have a hand trap, cross-out was a dead card most of the time. So I wanted something that I felt like, alright, what's something that can have a defensive application and an offensive application? And I chose Book because it's good going second. If you go against a non-link board, you can bait a Omnigate or flip everything face down. Going first, if it helps dodge Imperm. So if you have Stratos, you just Book of Eclipse your monster. Yes, it loses the Ash, but your opponent is probably going to either use the Ash on your monster if you're going first, rather than use it on this. So if they Ash your monster, cool. You just try to extend through it and use the Book of Eclipse. But I think 2 is fine. I thought about 3, but I feel like having this number just gives me the ability to see the card sometimes, but not all the times, and be able to not contribute to bricking me. And also, you could just set it. You could just set it, and then if they happen to get rid of your board, you book their cards, or Nib. That was another reason. Nib does hurt heroes, not as much as before, but this is another thing. When I do the combo, if I do have it, if I go Enforcer and they chain Nib, chain Book, and you just put your monsters face down, Nib can only send face-up cards, and then Nib won't resolve, or it'll resolve as much as possible, and then Enforcer will pop Nib and Enforcer, and then you're pretty much back where you started. And then the last cards for the traps. 1 Favorite Contact, very good. As a one-of, it's literally Revolt for heroes, so you get the banish literally from anywhere except for the deck, obviously. And it's very good, and I try to play this card very differently. I do go for the Shining Neos, but if I feel like I can make Shining Neos without having to use this going second, a lot of times if I am in that grind game, I would actually use this similar to the Prank Kids card. I think it was the Trap Prank Kids plan, where I would send everything from the banish, any important resources in the graveyard to make Wake Up Elemental Hero, so that way I can pretty much grind again, because I'm essentially resetting myself. And yeah, they could get rid of the Wake Up, but when Wake Up battles, it'll pop their monster. So favorite, good card. You only need 1. Shouldn't play more than 1. Honestly, playing Neos. 1 rivalry of Warlords. I feel like it's at 1, so it doesn't hurt to the main it right now. You can just play it, and then if it's not good, just side it out. And Fire Kings do play multiple attributes, so Warlords is good against that. And I didn't have Dark Angel in the main, but I do have Dark Angel in the side deck. So yeah, I'm gonna try this out. I tested it online a few matches, but not enough matches, and I thought Warlords was okay. It's at 1. You don't see it that much, so it was actually perfectly fine. And then last card, Protection of Elements. Now a lot of Heroes players are not running this card, and I can see why they wouldn't run the card. It's another brick you don't want to see in the hand. You would rather search it, and I guess that some hero players feel like you would have to play more cards, such as the Neos package. But right now with Heroes, I feel like your first turn board is really not that great. So having a card that can help you defend against board breaker cards, the droplets, the lightning storms, all that type of stuff, some type of problematic spell and trap, having ability to just have a counter trap, negate that is good because that means they can't chain. So it's ending the chain. So I actually like it. I don't go into it every game. The way I play this deck is how the format is. And right now, the way the format is, I do feel like we're around a lot of graveyard-centric decks. So a lot of graveyard-centric decks lose to Dark Law. So most of my turns, I'm trying to just make Dark Law DPE and pass. But if I draw the mass change, then you could end on a stronger board. You could end on Dark Law DPE and with this. And most of the times, you have other cards in hand because you can get all that with just 2 cards. So you tend to have more cards backed up. So I'm gonna keep playing this. You just decided I'll go in second. Now for extra deck, 2 DPs, and because I do got a Starlight DP, it's also good. I get to play my Starlight DP. So Starlight DP, 2 DPs. I played 2 DPs because the other card that people would use for this option is actually, let me just show the extra deck and then I'll explain it after. So we're gonna do two DPs. We got the 1 mash change, 2 Dark Halls. We got the 1 ulti and the 1 QCR. Absolute Zero, Shining Neos, Flame Wingman, Wake Up, Collector's Rare, Sunrise, and for the links, 1 Driver, 2 Cross, 1 Inferno for the combo, and put this right here so it can be seen a little better. 1 Driver and Inferno Rage for the combo. And the main reason I play the 2 DPs because the only other option you would run here is either I've seen people run Dangerous, and Dangerous is good because Dangerous deals with weird hands. Like if you got Mally and Shadow Mist, you can fuse them and start your combo. But I feel like you don't get those hands as much. The other option people run is Destiny Hero Dystopia. Dystopia requires 2 D heroes, and you do have the resources, but you might run in a time where you might not have the second D hero. It was used because it's good in time. You target Denier, Burn, 1100, and if it's attack change, you get a pop. Now I chose 2 DPs because DP is a strong card, and they can get rid of it, and that's why I play it. When they get rid of it, most of the time they're not expecting a second one. So certain decks have a hard time dealing with DPE, especially when DPE is reducing their monsters by a lot of attack. I see them really struggle. So I said, why not play 2? They banish 1, I have a second one. And you do play enough materials to activate a Fusion Destiny later on in the game to summon another one. And 1 mass because 1 target, 2 Dark Laws. Now, I was playing 1 Dark Law because realistically, you're not going to make 2 Dark Laws on field. But because back row decks are stronger, I added the second one back in case the first one gets outed. You can mass change Dark Law into Dark Law. So, if I have Dark Law here, they go Imperm, chain mass change, summon Dark Law. So I decided to just keep it like that for right now. And These are self-explanatory. Absolute Zero, Shining Neos, Pop 2, really good. With the favorite trap card, they can't return this back to the deck. If a monster is returned to the deck using Elemental Heroes, Elemental Hero Neos, this card cannot be returned to the extra deck. So a lot of times people make Typhon, try to spin, can't go back. So and this card be like 6,000. So if that right there just be like pretty good in its own right. Can't die by battle, but can't die by card effect. So Flame Wingman, great iteration to the combo. It's literally what made the deck a lot better and gives you a lot more combos. Wake Up, first turn combo to get into Dark Law or to get into Spirit of Neos. And also it's good for going second because Miracle Fusion. If they have enough monsters, a lot of times I will do Miracle Fusion and just go into Wake Up and just banish as much cards. Make Wake Up like 4,000 or something where it can at least attack 2 times. And if they have 2 monsters in attack mode, that's 8,000. Because it has the same effect like a Flame Wingman where it makes you burn for the monster's attack points. And then One Wonder, I kept going back and forth between 1 and 2 and 2 polys. But I decided to just stick 1. 2, I have 2 polys, so I only need 1, so it's fine. 2 cross, self-explanatory. And then the 1 Infernal, 1 Dread Decimator combo. And I thought about taking this card out, but there's been time where Dread Decimator actually has been pretty clutch. Going for game and making my monsters very big to push for game and piercing. You can't neglect the piercing. People do have monsters in defense, and on average, you can get Dread Decimator at least 35, 36, maybe even more than that. But he's usually roughly around that where I had him because you tend to banish cards from the graveyard. But yeah. So that's my hero deck. I'm not gonna show a side deck just because personally, side deck is up to player's choice. You can really just choose what you want to play as a hero deck based on your locals and where people are playing at your locals. But yeah, so I'm not gonna go over it. And now thoughts on the deck. How do I think this deck does in the format? Well, I think the obvious answer is that we all know that it's rogue. We know that it isn't meta, but what makes this deck good against it is Darklaw. So going first, Darklaw is really strong against Fire Kings. Them not being able to get their cards back from the graveyard, you being able to rip a card from the hand because they tend to search, is really strong against them. And there's a lot of graveyard decks out here too. You got Tier. People not throwing away Tier. You got, what else? Purely losing their spells and traps can also hurt. What else deck is like in there? Rescue Ace don't want their cards to get banished. They probably can play with a little bit more if some of their cards get banished. But yeah, I say Darklaw is the main reason, and that's how I've been playing online. I literally just go Darklaw, and I usually will either auto win game 1, or they'll try and play, and I'll still win because Darklaw. You're gonna have Darklaw on field. This is usually like the first board you have. You have Darklaw, DP, and then you got the Wonder Driver here, Sunriser, put the Sunriser here, and you'll have like favorite contact just to make the Neos. If I could get it right here in the camera, the Shining Neos Wingman. Now, that's generically your first board. You'll make this off the favorite contact. It'll be set on the field, but this is your board, and I put this like this because of Lightning Storm. So that way, if they did Lightning Storm, these 2 would die, and Wonder Driver can trigger to special E-Hero from hand. But with the first combo, you're already putting so many monsters in the graveyard that their monsters is gonna be like reduced by at least over 1,000 easily. So 1,800 defense, but their monsters gonna be so weak they're not gonna be able to get over the 18. And if they do, they have this to deal with, the DPE. So that's personally how I played the deck. I made it more of a kind of like a going first centric build, but giving the deck more options to play. I feel like with the regular Omni build, sometimes your plays get stopped, and I feel like heroes don't have anything. So adding cards like Ian Shuffle and Crosskeeper, it gives the deck more avenues to play through hand traps or other interruptions. So that's why I chose this deck. And that's it for the hero deck profile. If you guys like what you saw, give me a like, comment, and subscribe.